Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, and I've been covering Warner Brothers discovery and developments in the entertainment industry very closely these last few months. Woke California is panicking, and they're looking to pass a new law to control companies like Warner Brothers Discovery. Can you believe it? Well, yes. And this is gratifying to me for a few reasons, but one main reason is California is starting to notice they need to do something about David Zaslav. Why? Because look, Warner Brothers Discovery is not the perfect company. However, they certainly aren't Disney. They are creating a problem for the people that want to push woke entertainment, replacing all mainstream entertainment and removing story and removing quality just for the purposes of representation. Because David Zaslav at Warner Brothers Discovery is really just looking to make profitable movies and pay off their debt, which they've been doing a very good job of doing. They've paid down a lot of their acquisition debt from when they took on Warner Brothers Discovery. But let's get into this article in some more detail. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys. Okay, from bounding into comics, California proposes withholding new tax credits from Hollywood productions unless they, quote, set ethnic, racial, and gender diversity goals and develop a plan to achieve them. While it may not be law yet, California is taking its first steps to punish Hollywood projects that aren't woke enough to meet the ever-moving standards of progressives. In 2022, California voted to pass SB 485, which revised the state's film tax credits legislation to introduce a new credit which could only be received if a given project provided a diversity work plan that includes goals that are broadly reflective of California's population. According to the 2020 census, California's racial demographics are 41% white alone, 6% black alone, 40% Hispanic, 15% Asian alone, 1.6% of American Indian and Alaska Native alone, 0.4% Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islander, 21.2% some other race alone, and 10.2% individuals whose ethnicity is comprised of two or more races. Under this bill, which could become a law, an appointed commission would be prohibited from certifying the tax credit for an applicant until the commission receives the applicant's final diversity report. Additionally, said commission would be authorized to increase the applicant's credit percentage if the commission determines that the applicant has met or made a good faith effort to meet the diversity goals in its diversity work plan. So, of course, what this is about is pushing the woke agenda, which includes everything you've seen Disney doing, basically. In addition to the Velma from Warner Brothers Discovery, which was started before the David Zaslav team got to Warner Brothers. However, that's what the diversity plan is all about. As far as tax credits go, what this is it's cash rebates against the costs of production of films and TV shows. Tax rebates provided by states are very important. California does it, Georgia does it, many states do it, Canada does it if you do productions in Canada, and it helps to offset the cost of producing the content. Why do states do it? Because it brings a lot of business into the state. So does that mean that all movies and TV shows are going to have to fall under this standard? Only if they're produced physically in California and the law passes, although it will probably pass. While the original bill held no specific penalties for productions that failed to meet these goals, the state's Democrat governor, Gavin Newsom, is now seeking to provide the state with tools needed to enforce these new rules. As per the state's 2023-2024 film tax credit budget proposal submitted by the governor's office on February 28th, whereas a previous budget packet included a blanket allocation of $150 million in film tax credits for productions that are filmed at new or renovated sound stages, this credit is now being withheld unless the given production is instituting ethnic, racial, and gender diversity goals and to develop a plan to achieve those diversity goals. Productions are eligible to receive an additional 4% tax credit if they meet or make a good faith effort to meet their diversity goals, the governor's office added. Should this proposal be adopted, it will remain in effect throughout the rest of the current tax credit's effective lifespan in 2025, though lawmakers are currently working on extending this date to 2030. California's new proposal is but the latest example of the ongoing trend of introducing diversity, equity, and inclusion status quotas to entertainment. Last year, British television giant ITV set aside $105 million to promote production companies that promote disability and race-based content. ITV is committed to creating content by, with, and for everyone connecting the reflecting modern audiences, said ITV Group and Inclusion Director Addie Rawcliffe. We want more people of color and disabled people to be able to tell their stories and get opportunities in senior production roles. In recent years, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation has made it a point to produce an annual Studio Responsibility Index, which grades the top 8 major Hollywood studios based on the quantity, quality, and diversity of the LGBTQ representation in their films. Quote, I expect every industry executive in this room to join us. GLAAD will give you the playbook, said GLAAD President and CEO Sarah Kate Ellis at last year's GLAAD Media Award. This guy is Cinderella. In the organization's 10th annual report, all 7 major film studios failed to receive a passing grade based on their ever-evolving standards of LGBTQ representation. Sony Pictures, United Artists Releasing, Universal Pictures, and the Walt Disney Studios all received a grade of insufficient. So everything that Disney is doing is still insufficient to please GLAAD. I mean, they've got this guy as Cinderella. That's not good enough. They want more. They always want more. While Warner Brothers received a grade of poor. That lets you know where Warner Brothers Discovery stands in comparison to Sony and United Artists Releasing, even Universal. Warner Brothers is not on the good list of the GLAAD people judging their diversity. Meanwhile, Lionsgate and Paramount received the organization's worst score as failing due to their films not containing any LGBTQ characters. Ultimately, woke diversity quotas are not going anywhere in Hollywood. Despite certain groups now being overrepresented thanks to the recent pushes to make the industry less white, left-wing politicians are clearly still intent on cementing affirmative action ideologies into law. And it's unfortunate and true, things should be done based on merit. They really shouldn't be done based on anything other than let's do the best possible project we can do, and let me know what you think of that in the comments below. Another interesting article is coming from CNBC. Resumes including they/them pronouns are more likely to be overlooked, a new report finds. Now, this is an interesting article because it comes with the perspective of, hey, I'm kind of complaining that I am identifying as this, putting it on my resume, and for some reason, I'm not getting extra attention. People aren't responding to my resume the way I would want them to respond, which is interesting because when you are submitting a resume, and I do hire people, I'm looking at the merit and the quality of their work. I can't afford to hire people based on what their pronouns are. You've got to actually put a resume together that tells me that you can do what I need done. And it's not about getting rich. It's about when you're in business, you have to make a promise to your customers. That promise has to be kept. Those customers are depending on you to deliver that product or service. Pronouns don't fit anywhere into how are you going to deliver when a business serves a customer. That's what's essential. People that are putting pronouns on resumes and things like that, it's not a good idea because, look, here's the complaints about it. People are not getting the responses they want. Inclusivity shouldn't just be present in the workplace. It should be practiced during the hiring process as well. But unfortunately, non-binary job seekers are facing clear biases during their job search. According to a new report from business.com, here's that report. A business resource platform, over 80% of non-binary people believe that identifying as non-binary would hurt their job search. Similarly, 51% believe their gender identity has affected their workplace experience very or somewhat negatively. Well, I mean, look, it's one thing not to discriminate against somebody for hiring them to do a job. You just want to give everybody a chance that can get the work done. But if they can't get the work done, what is an employer supposed to do? If it's a multi-billion-dollar company, sure, they can lose money on you. It's not that big a deal. But many companies are under financial stress right now. The economy is not doing well. We are in an actual recession, whether people want to admit it or not. You've got to hire people. You've got to be able to hire people that can do the job. And then when they can't do the job, you have to let them go and replace them with someone else. This is the real world. This is what we all deal with. I don't know if you deal with it in your work. I certainly deal with it in mine. And in David Zaslav's world, at Warner Brothers Discovery, they are focused on making money and making good content. You know, they've recently announced that they're doing new Lord of the Rings movies. They're reinventing their DC franchise. I certainly hope they do a great job of it. There's a tremendous amount of money and creativity going into that work. They are focused on doing good content. So I would expect to continue to see poor ratings from GLAAD on their diversity scores. And as far as producing in California, I do not believe that is going to affect how they decide to produce any of their content whatsoever. They're very serious at Warner Brothers Discovery at looking at who their customers are, what the brands are. They're going to maintain those brands, make sure the customers are happy, and deliver for those people so they can continue to get revenue in to pay off their debt, make more profits, and build a serious business. Well, I don't think that Warner Brothers Discovery is the answer to all the problems with all of the damage that's been done to all of the franchises and properties that we care about. At least they're out there setting the example that we can all follow with producing good content for people that are really interested in the content, not just representation. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Do you think that Warner Brothers Discovery will bow down to California and produce films and TV shows the way that they want them produced? Or do you think they're going to still stay focused on producing good content and trying to make money? Always love to see your comments. Please let me know what you think. Really, really do appreciate it. Please also be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.